A receiver appointed by Everyday Finance has been halted from selling farmlands which the couple who own the farmlands say are worth twice what the receiver was advertising them for. So Everyday Finance had bought the loans from AIB, and Everyday Finance had appointed the receiver, Ken Tyrrell, and the couple at the centre of this dispute about the debt have obtained a valuation which shows that the lands are worth, with potential value of 1.7 million in circumstances where the receiver was proposing to sell them for 850,000 or thereabouts. That was his advised minimum value in a proposed online auction which was to take place. That was halted, and now a temporary injunction has been granted to the couple arising from their valuation and their evidence, as it were, of the risk of the receiver selling the lands for far below what the couple claim they're worth. It's worth noting here, however, that there's no argument that the receiver wasn't validly appointed. There's no argument here that Everyday Finance, having bought the loans from AIB, couldn't enforce the loan and couldn't appoint a receiver and sell the lands. That's not the argument. The argument here is, and it's based on evidence, essentially the valuation obtained by the couple, the argument here is that the receiver was proposing to sell them in breach of his duty to get the best possible price. He was proposing to sell them below the market value. That's what the couple have claimed, and that's what they've been able to persuade the High Court judge about based on their valuation. The reason the injunction was granted in this case was because the couple argued successfully that the lands had a potential value of 1.7 million and are of special value to the owners, and one had farmed them for 45 years, and the receiver was proposing to sell the lands for half that money. So just to be clear, the receiver was looking to sell the lands and was guiding a particular advised minimum value, and the couple had a valuation then showing the lands were worth twice as much. So the injunction restraining the receiver from selling a dairy farm in County Cork at what its owners claim could be half the land's potential 1.7 million value was granted by the High Court. The background to the case is Michael Walsh and Alice Mullins both worked the lands. They lived there with their two sons, and they claimed that they faced having the lands sold for less than what they are worth. A valuation that they obtained showed that the lands were worth more than twice the 830,000 euros advised minimum value, that's the AMV, that the receiver had obtained for a sale without vacant possession. The receiver was Ken Tyrrell. They argued that the receiver's advised minimum value of 550,000 euros for the commercial forestry lands owned by them was well below an offer of a little over 1 million euros separately made to them for these lands. Mr. Tyrrell, Ken Tyrrell, was appointed receiver in April 2024 by Everyday Finance DAC, trading as Link Financial, over the couple's default on commercial loans. Last August, the receiver moved to sell the farm and forestry lands using an online auction. The couple went to the High Court. The receiver undertook not to sell the lands pending the court's decision on their application for injunctions to apply pending a full hearing of the proceedings to restrain the sale of the lands. The legal action was adjourned a few times, but the injunction application was heard then in late March in the High Court. The judge said that Mr. Walsh and Miss Mullins owned 5 plots of land, 4 in Cork and 1 in Clare. 2 plots were the farmlands and the other 3 were in commercial forestry. Everyday owns a first legal charge over all 5 plots after it took over mortgages executed between the couple and AIB in 2009. The couple experienced repayment difficulties from 2013 and had unsuccessful negotiations with AIB and later Everyday about resolving their debt. The loans remained in default with no payments since 2018. Everyday appointed a receiver in April 2024 after a formal demand for repayment of about 1.8 million euros. The judge noted that the receiver's advised minimum value concerning the farmlands described them as, quote, excellent quality lands extending to some 90 acres with mature boundaries to include the River Blackbrook, good road frontage and an ideal location for a one-off house subject to planning. Mr. Walsh's father previously worked the lands, and Mr. Walsh has worked them for about 45 years, since he was aged 16. While the family home was excluded from the receiver's planned sale, the couple argued selling the lands without vacant possession and without inspecting them was unusual and would depreciate their value. The receiver disputed these claims. The judge said he would grant an injunction restraining, pending a full hearing of the legal dispute, the sale of the farmlands. While there may be good reason why the receiver was seeking to sell the farmlands as proposed, the couple had made out a serious issue that the proposed method of sale breaches the duty to take reasonable care to obtain the market value of the properties, the judge said. So the key here is that the judge was concerned that the market value of the properties was not going to be obtained, and clearly the valuation that the couple had obtained themselves, showing a value of in excess or approximately twice the value of the AMV, the advised minimum value of the receiver, swung the day for them. The judge was satisfied damages would not be an adequate remedy for the couple if the farmlands were sold before the full hearing. So there will be a full hearing. This injunction is only temporary. They are farmers. This is their only farmland and their source of income, and it was, quote, of special value to them. The 2.8 million valuation they provided for the farmlands and forestry lands was higher than their total debt to Everyday, he noted. He refused an injunction restraining the sale of the forestry lands for reasons including there was no evidence those were of special value to the couple, there was no repayment of their loans since 2018, and if the receiver's sale was below the market value, they had a remedy in damages.